Welcome back to the Super Bowl Pod episode 16, and it's a special one. Ladies and gentlemen, couple reasons. Number one, crazy, but the election is in 1 week. Less than 1 week, actually, which just blows my mind that we've made it this far. Started this podcast in like Corona times, went through some phases, but we've been pretty consistent until now, which is election. We're going to keep going, don't worry. Number two, if you're listening on Spotify or wherever else, but not YouTube right now, go ahead to the YouTube video because your boy bought a fire camera. And your boy not only bought a fire camera, but is looking fire on the camera, alright? But for real though, I bought a pretty nice camera to help kind of make some C Purple videos happen and to make them cooler and more enjoyable because who doesn't like nicer quality cameras? So, very exciting. I'm excited to be here. Crazy week, of course. They had their last debate. President Trump and Vice President Biden, former Vice President Biden, had their last debate. It was interesting. I'd say better than the last one. We had some more name calling, kind of some stooping low by both of them, but that's politics, and as you get closer to an election, that's going to happen. The Supreme Court vote for Amy Coney Barrett happened. Today is Tuesday. This will be posted on Wednesday, and on Monday, she was voted in. I watched it live. Very interesting process. And 52 to 48 vote in the Senate, and she is the now ninth Supreme Court justice, the fourth woman in the history of the Supreme Court, and the first woman conservative in the Supreme Court. And that makes the tally of conservative to liberal 6-3, which is pretty crazy. So the conservative values and basically the Republicans have a solid gain in the coming years on Supreme Court issues. And then the most important thing that happened this week is that Borat 2 came out. And if you don't know what Borat is, it's a really dumb but funny movie of a guy named Borat that is from a pretend country. And he comes to America and he pranks people, basically. It's done by a famous actor named Sacha Conan something. And he's super funny. He's in like Les Mis and things like that. And the second one came out, and it came out at opportune time. It's basically him trolling people in America with COVID, with President Trump, with President Trump's advisors. And it's out, and it's funny, and we're going to get even more into that because President Trump does not like it, and at all, as you can imagine. But let's go. I'm feeling good. This camera is looking nice, and let's get in these tweets. Let's go.
Audio Jungle.
Let's just get into these presidential tweets. President Trump's tweets of the week. They're always great. Last week I was a little tough on him just because it was just like classic President Trump. But this week we got some good ones as well, so don't fret. The first one, very interesting. Now I've kind of followed this saga for a while now, but President Trump and Fox News aren't on the best of terms anymore. Now, Fox News is always going to report what conservatives want to hear, most importantly, conservative-based stories. But President Trump has ripped them a little bit. When they aren't fully supportive of President Trump, he definitely feels threatened a little bit. And so he mentions this tweet, which I think is very interesting, and we will unwrap it, of course. But he says, the biggest difference between now and 2016 is Fox News. He tags them, never too bold to tag. They are a whole different deal. Despite this, our campaign is doing much better with bigger crowds and even more, parentheses, much, exclamation point, enthusiasm than we had in 2016. Big debate and SCOTUS win. Real polls have us winning everywhere. Now, he had another tweet that I'm not going to read exactly, but Fox News did a story on President Obama campaigning for Joe Biden, which I think he didn't like because he had to tweet about that. And then also, anytime Fox News has released a poll that hasn't had President Trump winning, President Trump has done a tweet about them and how they're fake news and how it's not right. So, those two reasons, he kind of is at ends with Fox News. Now, very interesting because Fox News is his greatest attribute, right? Any conservative in the nation that wants President Trump to win is going to listen and watch Fox News. That's just kind of a fact of it. That's the media that you resort to. And it's not extremist like conservative news. It's pretty down the middle, not down the middle, but kind of just right conservative media. So it's kind of the biggest platform. President Trump is not afraid to call them out, and I think it's very interesting. Fox News, I don't know if they're going to let President Trump bully them, or what, but I guess we will see. But as long as they are not basically praising President Trump, I think, feels threatened by them and will always call them out for it. Now, I don't know if that's right or wrong, or if it's Fox News' job to praise him all the time or not. It's media, and we know it's kind of annoying regardless of what media does. It's kind of corrupting us. That's why we're doing See Purple in this podcast and these videos. But I think it's very interesting to follow. I'll keep you updated on this story. I'm assuming as it gets closer to the election, and this is coming week and even after, if President Trump doesn't win, Fox News isn't reporting right things, he'll still call them out and talk about it. Now, I just had this thought. Now, I don't know who's going to win. I don't think. I cannot make a judgment case on who I think is going to win. If you wanted my analysis, I would have said President Trump had it in the bag after he got impeached, was my opinion, because I believe that if there's anything that's going to get people to come out and vote and rally, it's a conservative that has something to prove and someone to justify, right? So I believe when the Democrats impeached President Trump, the most conservatives were like, well, yeah, he's impeached, but let's get him to win in 2020, right? That fire and that vigor. I think that was going to happen. I think COVID changed a lot of things, right? The economy wasn't doing as strong, obviously, and I think a lot of people are critical of how President Trump handled the crisis, and then Joe Biden gets the nomination. And so now I think it's pretty square. If you had to ask me, and especially with what happened last election when everyone thought Hillary Clinton was going to win, who knows? But if President Trump loses, are we still going to get these tweets every day? And a more important question is, if he loses, am I still going to do his tweets on this podcast? Because I feel like I have to. It's such a good segment. I think we have to. All right, let's go to next tweet. President Trump, strongly trending, parentheses, Google, meaning on Google. So strongly trending on Google since immediately after the second debate is, all caps, can I change my vote? ? This refers changing it to me. So he's saying, people that are searching, can I change my vote? Or referring it to changing it to Trump, according to President Trump. Figures. The answer in most states is yes, go do it. Most important election of your life. A lot of stuff here, right? Of course, to boost his confidence, he's going to want to talk about what was trending after the election. And of course, he's going to signify it to him. Now, I think that he did a lot better in the first debate than he did. He did a lot better in the second debate than he did in the first debate. And I think that people tweeting that, searching that, for sure going to him. I don't think it's all of them like he thinks it is. Whatever, we're not going to change his mind on that. I think it's funny that he's claiming that, which is fine. And then the answer in most states is yes. So I don't know if he's saying we can still vote in most states, so you can still vote for me, or if he's saying that if you submitted your ballot, you can change your vote. Because I've never heard of that. And I should have done my research for you guys, but I didn't. But I should see if you can do that, because I don't know if you can. Like, I've submitted my ballot. It's in the mail. So I don't know if I can call them and be like, hey, when you get that, by the way, change it to Kanye, right? But we'll see. But I'm assuming he's saying you still have time. If you haven't voted yet, change your vote to me. All these people want to change their vote to me after that debate I did so well. Fun. We love it. President Trump, you're a gem. Now, onto the third tweet. Not really a tweet. It's a story kind of involving this. It is a tweet from someone else. So, Borat, I mentioned in the beginning. Sacha Baron Cohen, which is funny because it's like Amy Cohen Barrett. It's close. It's a close name. Weird. Very relevant people. The most two relevant people in politics besides the candidates right now are these two people. And they have similar names. Anyway, in Borat 2, they do a bit where they kind of prank Rudy Giuliani, who's an advisor to President Trump. And they do a bit with him and kind of make fun of him in the bit. I don't know how he agreed to it. I don't know why he agreed to it, but he did. And it was kind of making waves, and it was like an internet meme. Sacha Baron Cohen actually came out as Borat and did a video like defending Rudy because he knew that it was kind of like probably not good that it went so viral. President Trump, then in a rally, I believe, calls Sacha Baron Cohen, or Borat, a creep and a phony, okay? Of course, because he loves making these enemies. Sacha Baron Cohen then tweets this back at him. Donald, I appreciate the free publicity for Borat. I admit I don't find you funny either, and yet the whole world laughs at you. So some shots are being thrown. I'm always looking for people to play racist buffoons, and you'll need a job after January 20th, so let's talk. Whew! And then he linked the article about President Trump making fun of him. Very bold. Clap back. I mean, there are a lot of people that respond to every one of President Trump's tweets and try to like make fun of him back, but this is like the nicest one I've seen. And if you think it's terrible that he did this, he literally played President Trump's own game against him, right? Now, I say this, and I think this is why he's so successful, is he is dominant, and he is like forward and almost like a troll, not in the sense of like looking like a troll at all. I don't mean that. I mean in the troll, the sense of like an internet, a troll is like someone that can just like make fun of you, put you on the spot, do whatever he wants, and it doesn't affect him, right? And that's what he is, and I think that's what he plays. He's so controversial that all the attention is on him, and that's his strength. That's how he gets popular. And if you don't realize that by now, if you're just still complaining and tweeting about this guy, if you don't like him, like you're feeding him. That's exactly what he wants. And Borat, who's like the biggest troll ever, also just in a media film sense, trolls him back. And so I think it could be more incredible. I think it could be more incredible that Borat is even mentioned in President Trump's mouth. That like, now who wins this battle? I don't know what President Trump's gonna say after this, but like Borat's job in all these movies is to be a troll and to get people to react to what he does. And so President Trump did that. I think Borat won this. But very interesting. Sacha Baron Cohen, Amy Coney Barrett. I'm still tripping out over that. Those are the presidential tweets, President Trump's tweets of the week. Let's get into this main story. Okay, now this main story is going to be a little bit different. If you are an avid listener of the podcast, you know that my main story, I go over like the biggest story of the week, and I try to explain kind of a process. I try to make an educational story where we all learn together. It's not controversial. It's reported on equally by both sides. Normally, my sources are CNN for the left and Fox News for the right. They both are reporting it in detail. Can't really be disputed. For example, last podcast, I talked about the Electoral College and that process. The one before, I talked about how to get someone nominated to the Supreme Court. Well, main story now, I normally like take pretty good notes, or I'll read some notes on it. And I didn't really make many notes. It's just going to be me talking a little bit about like the good, the bad, and the ugly of this election. Shout out to Clint Eastwood. So, he's in the movie called The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, for those that didn't know that reference. I'm sorry if that was confusing. So, let's just talk. I'm just going to be talking here. First of all, Amy Coney Barrett is in the Supreme Court. She's one of the 9 justices. She will be there until she dies or retires, which I think it's actually until she dies, actually. And what this means. This means that conservatives have a 6-3 advantage when it comes to topics and when it comes to debating whether something is constitutional or not in this country. I mentioned last time a little bit in like the purple vibes, but these judges aren't like us. They aren't. These people have PhDs. On top of that, they have served as a lawyer. On top of that, they've probably taught law and experienced law, and they are some of the smartest people in the United States, for sure. Most educated, for sure. Ivy League schools, right? These people aren't like fired up and affected by politics the way we are, at least in my very limited opinion. These people are smart. They know the rules of the land so well. They know the Constitution better than anyone, right? These people are awesome. And I don't think they're going to be as polarized as we are when it comes to things. I don't think that they are going to freak out and wear MAGA hats or wear Bernie shirts, right? These people aren't us. People are educated, they're smart, they know what they're doing, and they're going to do it well, and they're going to make the decision of what's best for our country. They haven't let us down very many times, I would say. You can depend on them. So I want you guys to know that. A lot of people are freaking out. It sucks. Because it is what it is. We can't control it, right? And you also know that both parties would have played the political game if they were in the other spot. I explained this in a couple pods ago, but the Republicans definitely played the game, and the Democrats definitely played the game to try to stop the Republicans. If it was flip-flopped, the exact same thing would happen, and you guys would both be complaining about the other party. But both parties would do it, all right? So you're getting mad at each other when it's both parties are just playing the game. They're trying to screw each other over, okay? Do I think it was the right move? I think it was a precedent that you can nominate someone, and you can put them through. That's the president's job. Now, the Republicans shut it down when President Obama tried to do it, and the Democrats tried to shut it down this time, and it didn't work, right? So that's my opinion on it. She's in, and she's smart, and she's going to be fine. Now, I've also seen a lot of liberals be really mad, right? More Democrats get mad because now this huge advantage is to conservatives, as well as they wanted someone that was going to replace RGB, who's kind of like this historic figure now, and always has been really in United States history and politics. They wanted someone, phenomenal to replace her, like the exact same opinions and stuff like that for women's rights. They don't think ACB has that, but still, like, a woman is on the Supreme Court. Another woman is on the Supreme Court, okay? I think that's awesome. That it was a woman, like, that's something to celebrate. If you're a woman, I think it's something to celebrate. Those are kind of my thoughts on that. The good and the bad, the ugly of the election. The good. I think people get woken up by politics anytime an election happens. That is simply my opinion, but I think it happens. People realize politics, and when it comes to voting and stuff, they are active, and they get too involved probably, but they get involved. And a lot of involvement can be toxic, right? A lot of it is toxic. But people get involved, they pay attention for these next couple months, right? And I think that's good. I will never discredit that. People go out and vote. They're already, the numbers of mail-in ballots and stuff, people are already voting by higher percentages than last time, especially young people, which makes me really happy. I hope I contributed to that, maybe like 0.0001% by doing C Purple. But people are paying attention, which is good. And it could be more toxic, but I think it's good in general. Now, if we can learn to see purple, it's incredible, right? Because now we're paying attention. We're seeing what the president's saying. We're seeing all this. I think that's awesome. Now, President Trump wins. We can expect similar things to the last 4 years. Now, that's good or bad, depending on how you view these last 4 years, right? He's going to focus on the economy. He's going to focus on bringing the jobs back that were lost in COVID. He's going to talk about security, national security, like continuing to build the wall, I'm sure. He says he has a better plan for healthcare, which I haven't seen much of, but I hope it's great. And I hope it's an extension or not a huge overhaul of what we have now, because they didn't get rid of that, which they said they would. So I think that's interesting, and I think people need what we have now. I'm all for making things better. If President Biden wins, Vice President Biden wins, it's going to be a lot similar to an Obama administration. I'm assuming those last 8 years, right? 8 years prior. He's going to have kind of the same ideals. Now the media will tear this apart, but he's a pretty moderate Democrat, especially when you think like Bernie's on the other end. He's pretty moderate. A lot of people try to pose him as this crazy leftist, which I don't agree with. He's a pretty moderate Democrat. And President Obama's a pretty moderate Democrat. None of them are vouching for socialism or anything like that. They just want these problems to be solved in a different way. Now, if he wins, it's going to be a lot like President Obama's era, in my opinion. He's going to try to kind of copy, replicate the same things, the same standards. He's going to build back better. That's his thing. Also, worried about his age or his mental capacity. A lot of people are saying, it's going to be the Kamala show, which will be interesting if it is. She's a fiery, fired up woman that is passionate. So we'll see all that. I think our country's going to be fine, whoever wins. Dare I say that, okay? Dare I say that. what it means for America, right? The bad. If President Trump wins, there's going to be a lot of angry people, a lot of people pointing fingers, especially like the Democratic Party. They're going to say that we failed this twice now, right? With Hillary and with Joe. We got a lot fixing to do. We got to fight really hard to limit the Republicans in any way possible, right? So they're going to try to block everything. They're going to try to not let them pass anything. Hopefully, their strategy, which normally happens, is if there's a Republican president, the Democrats will try to flip the seats. So then if the Democrats control the Senate, if Trump wins, they're going to try to block everything and not let anything get passed. Right? That's the sad truth of what's going to happen. Now, if Trump wins, what that means for America, well, I already said that. If Biden wins, what that means for America is the Republicans are going to do the same thing. They are going to try to block every single thing that Vice President Biden wants to do. I keep saying President Biden as in like the hypotheticals. I'm sorry. Vice President Biden is his official name that he's going to try to do. They're going to try to block everything. They're going to try to make it a pain for him to do anything, right? And it sucks, guys. That's why it doesn't really matter who wins, because regardless of their plan, the other party in the Senate and in the House are going to try to mess them up and not let them do anything. And let everything bad that happens, they're going to put the blame on, right? The Senate might vote on a huge debt package, right? Say the $3 trillion, right? That was agreed on both parties, but who is everyone going to blame? Who are the Democrats going to blame? Oh, President Trump put us in $3 trillion more in debt, $2 trillion more in debt, my bad. It sucks, guys. It's the most toxic thing ever. And they pin it on us. I'm getting too philosophical and purple here, but they make it seem like we're divided and we hate each other, when really those two parties in the Senate and House hate each other, and they are what block everything good that should happen in America. Whew! I'm fired up, I feel like, all right? Now, a question I want you to ask, and it's mostly young people I think that watch this, but if there are old people too, sorry if I called you old, if there are old people listening to this, if there are more mature people listening to this, it might be different for you, but for a young person that's like 25 or less, like, I have so many people that will just talk so much smack on President Obama. And keep in mind, I was 9 when President Obama got elected, right? 2008, 2016, yeah. And I was 17 when he left. Not a lot in your life is affected by the President of the United States when you're that young, okay? So if anyone comes up and says that to me, I say, how much did your life change with President Obama in office? What aspect of your life changed? Now they might say, well, my dad's business sucked when President Obama was in office. Or, well, he made gay marriage legal. Or Osama bin Laden, he went and did all these terrorist things. And that all could be true, but like, think about how your singular life has changed, and right? And that's really the way we should look at it. Now, my life didn't change very much under President Obama. So am I really in a position to say if he was incredible or terrible? Probably not. Now, as you get older, now I'm older and I can like pay taxes, and I go to a university, which changes things, and I work at a company, which changes things, right? That does change things, right? And so I have a little bit more credibility to my opinion. But if you're young and there's really not a lot that affects you, ask yourself that question, right? Now people come to me and they'll complain about President Trump. I'll say, well, how much has like your life been affected by what he's done? And then I say, oh, my dad's job sucks, right? Or now it's great, right? So ask yourself that question. How much has your life really changed? Now, we can have opinions, and you can talk smack, and you can do whatever you want, but just remind yourself of that. Whoever's president, right now I've lived through a conservative, a Democrat, a Republican, a Democrat, another Republican, and then who knows with this election. But I've lived through them enough to know how my life has changed, and it hasn't changed a whole lot. President Obama to President Trump, not a whole lot. Now, I'm way more entertained by President Trump's tweets. I think he says a lot of things that are like outlandish and bold and sometimes dumb and sometimes funny and sometimes smart. And I'm like well aware of that because of Twitter and the media. But like, how much has any of that affected me, right? Not a lot. From the transition, right? From President Obama to President Trump. So it's very interesting. I just want you guys to know that. I want you guys to just know it's going to be okay. Now, America, United States of America, I think is a special place. I do think that it's on purpose one of the leading nations in the world. I think we do a lot of things right. I think we are the leaders in a lot of things. Innovation, technology, things like that. Business, e-commerce, GDP, right? Like, we're number one by far. So I think we're one of the number one nations in freedoms guaranteed to citizens, right? I don't think our legacy can be tarnished by one person, personally. If it is tarnished, it's going to be tarnished by a big group of people, so it could be like the Senate, maybe. Still don't think that's going to happen. Or us, right? A civil war isn't going to be declared by a president. It's going to be declared because we hate each other so much. Or, we're not going to go nuke Russia. I don't know, that was a bad example. Ignore I just said that. Sorry, Russia. I hope you get my point. It's up to us, really. America is going to be fine. I think no matter who's president, no matter who you voted for, no matter who's president. We're the United States of America. We've had some crazy cool things happen in our country that I don't think a lot of people would have ever guessed would have happened. Starting like the American Revolution, right? Shouldn't have won that war at all. The odds were not against us. The odds were against us. And I think we're going to be okay. I hope those are words of encouragement. I hope you guys take that to heart. Ask yourself, how has my life changed? How has your life changed from President Obama to President Trump? Now, I will just say, as a white person, I think in America, your life isn't going to change a lot. Now, if I was a person of color, it could be a whole different story. Because you might feel threatened by President Trump, or you might have not felt empowered by President Obama. Whatever it might have been, way different. But for me, I can ask myself that. And for you, most people I think can ask themselves that. I don't know, I should probably just quit while I'm ahead on this rant. But that's the main story. That's why I wanted to get off my chest, because we're a week away from the election. You're not going to hear from me until after the election night. We still may not know, but you're not going to hear from me until after the election night. So, there you go. Let's get on to the purple vibes. I feel like that was pretty purple, but we're going to keep it rolling. We're going to keep it flowing. Let's go. Purple vibes, the way we end every podcast. Now, that rant I just did basically was just all purple vibes, right? It was kind of how to see purple through the election, which was actually the title of like another podcast probably about a month ago, where I just kind of gave advice. That I gave advice then. This is basically the purple result. Whatever happens, this is how we live purple, right? And it's going to be tough. It's going to be super hard. Super, super hard. We are so polarized, and it's not going to stop. I can guarantee you, whoever wins, now, this is dumb, but they're saying, oh, if Trump doesn't win, the world's just going to go to crap. America's just going to go to crap, and there's going to be civil war. And then the people are on the other way are saying the exact same thing if Biden wins, right? Or if Trump gets reelected, the world's going to go back to crap, right? I don't think it will. There's going to be some polarization. We'll get through it. We'll get over it. But it's going to be very hard. You are going to want to hate the person next to you. You're going to want to write that Facebook comment. You're going to want to tweet them back. You're going to want to post that controversial thing that doesn't need to be posted on your Instagram story. You're going to want to unfollow that person that you've known for years and love just because you're sick of it. All that's going to happen to all of us. We're all going to get fed up. We all like being right. We all like being a know-it-all, and that's what politics is you think you're right and your way of believing is right, and so you support and listen and get involved with that way of life. Purple is the exact opposite of all that. It's saying, hey, you voted for President Trump. I voted for President Biden. How about we sit down and talk about why we did that? Instead of me judging you as a racist and you judging me as a socialist, let's sit down. Why did you do that? Let me know. Oh, your business boomed under President Trump. Perfect. Oh, your husband is Latino and feels safer if Joe Biden's president. Perfect. That's why you voted for him. Awesome. Right? Those are conversations we need to have. We need to learn. So the next time that you do meet someone that voted for Trump, you can say, yeah, maybe their dad's business, their family's business just boomed. Right? How can you not credit that, to the person that's in charge of the economy, right? That's the conversations we need to have. Now, I want to end with this. It's a little thing that everyone's posting on Instagram. After the elections are over, your neighbors will still be your neighbors. Trump won't be there to ring up your groceries. Your neighbors will. Biden won't be there to fix your car or help you out with the yard work. Your neighbors will. Both Trump and Biden will still be in their wealthy political world and will be in ours. They'll both be doing their thing, and while you and I live together, work together, learn together, shop together, eat together, worship together, and pump our gas next to each other, we are what makes America great. We are the ones who choose to be decent, loving, caring, and compassionate human beings. Vote for whomever you choose to vote for in November, but remember, we the people choose to shape our communities, not them. I'm not even going to elaborate. I just want to end the podcast on that. See purple. Good luck to good luck to all you guys in this election. Let's change the way we think. Let's change the way we look at people. Let's change the way that we look at America, and let's see purple. Peace and love. Stay blessed. See purple this week. Peace.